the humble Opinel number 9 knife, made in France, discounted by a lot of people, but yeah, an amazing tool, and possibly one of the first tools you should buy, because it's also one of the cheapest. When I bought this, it was probably about 8 quid, so they're probably about 15 quid now. A brilliant purchase, a really nice piece of carbon steel. The back is, you know, filed to a 90-degree angle, so you can use it for the ferrocerium rod to strike sparks. The collar twists round and will lock into place, meaning that it won't close on your fingers. The handle is just beech, and it's a very simple, there's not much in the way of materials to it, but they are great and super easy to sharpen, because of the grind you can lay the blade flat on your sharpening stone and just move it across. And it is carbon steel, as you can see, because it's started to turn a bit black, but I think this knife deserves it. Great for opening things, great for little bits of carving. You can get it absolutely scalpel sharp, and it's just a great piece of kit and brilliant value for money. And like I said, they last a long time if you even just look after them in the, you know, the very laissez-faire attitude I have to looking after my tools. I don't keep them shiny sharp because they're just going to get covered with sap and bits of wood, but this is an amazing knife. It is truly a brilliant design, and I recommend anybody that's at all into bushcraft keeps one super razor sharp knife on them at all times, and this is the one that I'd use. So after 15 years you'd think I'd modded it a bit, and yes I have. So let's go to the mods. So I managed to fail to record in the woods, so this is a bit of an insert I did when I got back. So the 2 mods I've made to the knife itself are, if you can see here, I've dug a divot out along here to make it much easier to open if the wood expands. That was a tip from a friend of mine. The beech handle itself has been preserved using vegetable oil, so that's one of the reasons it's lasted and not fallen apart. And I've just screwed in a little eye screw in there. I don't know what they're called. They're normally the sort of things that hold up neck curtains, but it's just screwed into the back, so if I want to I can hang it around my neck just as is. And there's a close-up of the locking mechanism, and that just swivels around to you can either lock the blade closed or lock it open once you've opened it out. But this little divot here, just shave away a couple of millimeters below the thumb notch there, and even if the wood does swell up in damp weather, you'll still be able to get it open easily. So back to the woods. So I made this sheath more than 10 years ago, probably shortly after I bought the Opinel. So the sheath has lasted out, very much like the sheath for my Barco Laplander. That's lasted well over 10 years. It's just, again, it's made of simple webbing which you can buy on a reel, and the 2 straps that you can see on the front are just shearing elastic I've stitched onto the sheath, so that it will hold a lighter or a pen torch onto the knife if I'm wearing it at night. It's quite a good idea to have like a lighter or a torch attached to the same thing as your knife. And all it is, exactly like the Opinel one, you can see, just literally a little bit of webbing folded back on itself, and I made a little loop and folded that back and stitched it for the cord bit, so that will go around my neck. But it's also a good way of storing the knife along with a bit of cordage, and very much like the Gransford's Brooks axe sheath, this is lawnmower cord or pool starter cord. It's a bit more expensive per meter than paracord, but it's already pre-stretched, no problem. You know, so that will go around my neck, and you can adjust the length of it with a fisherman's knot. And yeah, so you've got cordage, and if the lighter was in it, you'd have a lighter, and you've got a knife. But you can also, you know, use the same cordage to attach the loop for a small flashlight. You know, so you've got all the things that are hard to make from a bushcrafting perspective. A little bit of a close-up. It's not very well stitched, but it has survived an amazing amount of time. So yeah, good mods. It's a very moddable knife, and even if you were to completely cock it up or lose it, you haven't lost anything that was super expensive. So yeah, would I recommend this brand and everybody should run out and get one if they don't already have one? Heck yeah, it's an amazing knife. So yeah, thanks for watching my, it's got to be 15-year review of the Opinel No. 9, because that's the one that fits my hand. Thanks for watching, and do take care.